Hey, how's it going, guys? MrBossFTW here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 10 new features and details that I think that if they were added to the CEO system, would make that process nearly perfect. So a few days ago, I did a video that was 7 things that would make the Further Adventures and Finance and Felony DLC nearly perfect. And a lot of you guys in the comments said, you should focus specifically on the CEO system, because that's what a lot of, I guess, the new features that were added into the game were about. That's what a lot of the content was about in this, other than the cars and some of the other things that Rockstar added. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be taking some of your suggestions and some other suggestions from sites like the GTA forums and Reddit that I've been browsing and doing some research on. Okay, so at the number 1 spot, and one idea that I saw was actually a forklift for your warehouse. Now, what this forklift would do would allow you to basically move around your cargo. So let's say, for example, that you have 2 or 3 special items in your warehouse. Let's say you've got the egg, you've got the Bigfoot hide, and you've got the pocket watch. Let's say you want to spread them out or have them on one side of the warehouse or another, or if you want to have them stacked on top of each other, so you've just got an entire column that's rare special items, you could do something like that. Or if you wanted to get all the weapons on one wall or all the, whatever on another wall, jewelry or drugs or narcotics, you could do that. I feel like this could be a cool feature that Rockstar could add, because honestly, there's not a lot to do in the warehouse. As you've got the computer, and then you've got the little workbench that allows you to upgrade your cars. But once you've done that, there isn't really a whole lot else you can do. So I think, like the garages we have in game, how you can organize your cars, you should be able to organize your cargo and make them really spread out the way you want. Another feature I saw in the GTA forums was inventory consolidation. So what I mean by this is if you have multiple warehouses, so I have 5, which is a lot of warehouses. I don't use them. But let's say, for example, you have 2 large warehouses, and in one warehouse you've got 40 crates, and in another warehouse you've got 70 crates. So let's say that instead of having them spread out in 2, so that you don't have to drive back and forth between the 2, you wanted to put them in 1. Well, maybe Rockstar should allow us to have a system where we could load that inventory up into, let's say, a brigade, and then transfer it to the other warehouse. So this would be a risk-reward system if you wanted to consolidate. Obviously, anytime you take cargo out of the warehouse, it has the possibility of being destroyed. So maybe that's something that Rockstar could work in there. I think that would be pretty cool, and I think this would be a great, unique system for consolidating, but also could be very risky as well. Okay, at the number 3 spot, I think there should be single-player style property management missions, and also club management scenarios from GTA 4's The Ballad of Gay Tony. So I think the CEOs need to have more responsibility other than just sitting up in their high-rise office and essentially doing the VIP missions and then the buying and selling stuff. I think that there needs to be more. I think as a CEO, you should be able to, do these sort of things where you have property management missions where, like I said, you can manage your organization and truly build a crime empire. Because now it doesn't really feel like you built an empire. It's just you up in your building and you do missions and then you go back inside. So I think a little more depth would be awesome. And if they took some elements from single player, like where you're Trevor, Michael, Franklin, how you manage those properties and you have to do tasks, and also from The Ballad of Gay Tony, where you were in charge of managing Gay Tony Prince's club, the Mason at 9. I think that could be pretty awesome as well. At the number 4 spot, I think CEOs should be able to buy properties around Los Santos. And I'll talk about the benefits in a little bit, but I could see this being used in many different ways. So there's a lot of buildings in game that even though they're there, they're not used, which would be perfect for buying and owning as a CEO. So what I'm thinking are nightclubs, I'm thinking restaurants, I'm thinking strip clubs. Believe it or not, there's a lot of strip clubs in the game that you can't even go to, bars, other places of business. I think we should be able to buy them. Now, they should be fairly expensive, but what I think would be a cool benefit is if they gave your organization a higher value, meaning that when you went to buy goods or go sell something, you would get either more money for selling or you'd have to pay less to buy them, which I think would be pretty cool and could obviously add a fairly unique element into the game. And not only that, but it would also open up some of the more unused places in Grand Theft Auto 5, which I think has an extraordinary amount, more than really any other game that I can remember. So it'd be a great use for that, and it would also be a great way to kind of bolster the CEO system a little bit. At the number 6 spot, increase the number of associates. So I don't know what Rockstar's logic was for going with 3 associates. Maybe they were going off of the heist sort of situation or blueprint where it's 4 people total. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a lot of fun in big lobbies playing with a lot of you guys, my friends, my crew members. And a lot of times we run into issues where there can only be 3 associates and a lot of people get left out. Now, I know what Rockstar's trying to do. They're trying to, I guess, eliminate monopolies or basically just gangs taking over one lobby. So I think that having like 12 or 15 would be way overkill. That would obviously be like half a lobby. But I think 3 is too little. I think there's a sweet spot between 5 and maybe 8 associates that could be really cool. Now, obviously, there is going to be some balancing issues there, and Rockstar might be worried about the number of CEOs in a lobby. But honestly, why would you want like 8 CEOs in a lobby when you can just have 2 or 3 that are reigning and then can kind of battle it out and have fun with their 5 or 6 associates? I think that would be pretty cool, and I think if they raise the number a little bit, that would be a nice touch. At the number 7 spot, being able to store our personal vehicle inside of our office. So I'm not talking about a garage. I've touched on that in previous videos, and I don't think Rockstar is going to do that. But what I'm talking about is, in order to get into your office, you have to get out of your car, at least if you're in a land vehicle. And many times I have been subject to getting shot as soon as I get out of my car. Someone has a sticky bomb right on the little blue circle that allows you to get into your office. So I think being able to just drive your vehicle into the, if you can see my air quotes, quote unquote garage here, and not being able to store the car, but just have it teleport you up to the main office, very similar to how landing a helicopter on the roof pad does, I think that would be great. You could avoid griefers. It would be an easier way to just having to like get out of your car and then scramble to the door. And I know that's like total first world problems right there, because how long does it take to get out? But it would be a cool feature, and it's just something that I didn't think Rockstar would miss out on, because all the high-rise offices, they have garages. So I'm not sure what they were thinking there, but I think a feature like that would be really awesome. At the number 8 spot, I would like to have more creativity with the naming and the sign of our office. So like the yachts, I think it's super cool that we can have a little bit of customization with our name and that we can create a name for our organization. But why stop at just a, kind of a lame sign inside of the building? I wish we could, advertise our building on the exterior. Now, I know that there would be issues with multiple players in the lobby. I totally understand that. But instead of it saying Maze Bank on the outside, how cool would it be if it had your corporation name or something like that? Or if the outside wasn't even possible, just having the name on more places than one spot inside of the office, because no one is hanging out in front of the executive assistant's desk. So I think it should be like on the center table of that, conference room. I think it should be on the desk of the CEO's table. I think it should be everywhere, plastered everywhere, the name of the organization, and not just in one spot right where the executive assistant sits. And that's actually a great segue into number 9, being able to change the executive assistant's appearance. Now, I'm not talking about, full Sims customization here, but I think the executive assistant should at least adjust to the style of what your organization is, because there's some pretty robust styles where you look like you're a military gang that's just like in Desert Storm. And then there's some other ones that look like they got the Steve Jobs look going on, very corporate, very professional. So I think that the executive assistant should adjust to the style of you and should not adjust to the style of the office. Again, I don't know the, I guess, technicalities behind that, how Rockstar would program that to work, but I think it would be pretty simple considering you can change the appearance of your associates. Why not be able to change the appearance of your executive assistant? Seems pretty simple to me. Okay, at the number 10 spot, organizational discounts. So this is a pretty cool idea that I saw, and it has to do with the goods you buy and sell. So let's say that you sell, let's just call it $1 million worth of guns and ammo and armory stock. Well, maybe an in-game corporation like Ammunition would then give you a 10% discount on all items when you're a CEO. And who knows, maybe you could do that with some of the other items in the game. Like, I think jewelry would be pretty hard, but there's like clothing that you get as well, like rare articles of clothing. So then maybe you would get like a 10% discount at Ponsonby's or wherever the clothing stores are in the game if you sell $1 million worth of that. I think there should be some bonuses for selling certain amounts of good. Not only would that kind of give us an objective to strive for, but it would be pretty dang cool to say like, hey, I got a discounted ammunition. What do you got? It's a nice little show-off tool, but also a great way to kind of extend the longevity of the CEO buying and selling system. All right, guys, and we're going to end this video with a bonus, or I guess two bonuses. They're kind of one and the same, but that would be organizational colors and emblems. That's right. The two things we can do in a crew, we can't seem to do in an organization. We can't have an official logo that maybe could go on our vehicles, and we don't really have an official color either, which could be nice to adding a certain tint, maybe to some of our associates' colors, or maybe to some of the things inside of our offices. So I certainly think that a logo and I certainly think that color being applied to these organizations would also be a nice feature as well. But anyways, those are 10 new features and details that I would change that, in my opinion, would make the CEO system nearly perfect. Although I'm sure you guys have some suggestions and changes that you would like to add in there as well. So be sure to let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you did go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. We like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.